Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here, and today's video will be covering a new Nintendo Switch eShop sale and 10 more great deals, so let's get into it. So the first game on today's list is the Breakers Collection. And so the Breakers Collection is a port of two classic fighting games from the Neo Geo. And these arcade classics are similar to early arcade 2D fighting games like Street Fighter 2, but this hosts another band of unique characters, each with their own playstyle and special abilities. And it is again more of a traditional 2D fighting game where you'll have your light attacks and heavy attacks as well as special moves, but you'll also have special meters that will charge up during battle, which can unleash even more powerful special attacks. While these games aren't incredibly revolutionary, they are still a lot of fun, and there's several different quality of life enhancements that are added to this collection as well. So you have local play as well as online play. On top of that, they've also added in a new team mode where you'll be able to take part in 2 versus 2 battles, where you'll choose 2 characters and face off against another 2 characters. Now this isn't a tag battle where you can't switch between characters throughout the fight, but instead you'll fight until one of your characters dies and then your second character will come in for the rest of the battle. If you're looking for a new classic arcade fighting game, I think this collection's worth checking out. The next game on today's list is Witch Explorer. And so this game is a really cool concept that combines 2 very unique genres into one. And so it's really a tower defense game meets shoot 'em up game. And so you'll play as a young witch Tia, and you'll face off against monsters that are trying to get past your defenses. And so the game really reminded me of the mobile game Final Fantasy Crystal Defenders. And so kind of how these games work is that the monsters are trying to reach your end zone, and you'll need to place different monsters on your team to slow down and defeat these enemies before they reach the end goal. And so in this game you have a variety of different types of monsters, and each one has their own unique abilities, where some will do more aggressive damage and only attack close enemies. Others will be more ranged focused, and others even have freezing abilities that can slow enemies down. And so you'll have to strategically place your monsters to hold off the enemy threats. But on top of that, your witch Tia is able to shoot these oncoming monsters as well and fly around the stage. The game even includes some unique shoot 'em up levels where you'll be able to bring your different types of monsters with you to strategically attack enemies and help you on your way. On top of that, you also have the ability to power up your monsters and your main character Tia as well. So you'll be able to cook different dishes, boosting your stats on missions, and making your monsters and character more powerful. So if you're looking for a unique tower defense game that blends that genre with shoot 'em up games, this one's definitely worth checking out as well. The next game on today's list is Devil Slayer Rexassy. I probably butchered that name, but the game itself is a roguelike dungeon crawler where you'll play as a variety of heroes as they go on a mission and take on different trials in hopes of finding a key to save the world. And so you'll go through different procedurally generated dungeons and face off against waves of enemies, and you'll also be able to choose from several different playable characters that each have their own unique weapon types and play style. Throughout the game you'll be able to pick up different pendants that you can use to revive your characters if you happen to die, and as you defeat enemies you'll earn gold as well as souls that you can use to power up your characters in between levels. The game kind of looks like a hack and slash dungeon crawler, but you'll definitely need a lot more strategy where you'll be able to attack enemies and parry them, and as I mentioned, you'll need to master your unique weapons and their play styles if you hope to make it through this challenging game. But I think if you're looking for another roguelike dungeon crawler to sink into, this one's worth checking out. The next game on today's list is Hack. And so Hack is a futuristic cyberpunk Metroidvania, and you'll play as a young survivor, Hack, as you go on a journey to find your lost brother. And so you'll explore this futuristic cyberpunk world in this intense action platforming Metroidvania game. And so you'll be able to unleash unique ninja-like abilities, sort of like a grappling hook that you can use to traverse around the stages and reach new areas, but it can also function as a weapon attacking enemies as well. And throughout the game, as you defeat enemies, you'll earn coins that you can use to power up your abilities and your character, which can help you progress further throughout the game. If you're looking for another challenging action platformer with fun Metroidvania elements, I definitely recommend this game as well. The next game on today's list is Slime Rancher. And so in this game, you play as a young slime rancher, Beatrix, that travels across the galaxy as she tries to make a living as a new slime rancher. And so this game overall is kind of a unique concept as well that really combines almost a farming simulator with a first-person shooter. And so really the object of the game is to harvest and collect a bunch of different slimes across the world, and you'll need to feed them a variety of food types in hopes of collecting gems that they excrete that you can then sell on the open market. And so it's kind of a humorous, fun concept, but it can get incredibly addicting as well, exploring this massive world, finding unique slimes, and gathering these different gems, and selling them when the time is right to maximize your profit. It has a fun art style, addicting gameplay, and a really unique concept, and so if you like what you see, I think you should pick this game up as well. The next game on today's list is Undermine. And so this game is a highly addicting roguelike dungeon crawler, and the story is set in a world that is being ravaged by earthquakes, and it's been determined that the earthquakes are coming from deep within a mine, and you'll actually play as hundreds of different disposable peasant miners on a quest to uncover the mystery of the earthquakes and to save the world. And so you'll go through the different dungeons carrying your trusty pickaxe as you can slash at different enemies and also throw it across the room in a boomerang-like fashion. You'll also find different bombs you can use to blow apart walls, to find hidden areas, and to take out massive rocks that could be hiding treasure, gold, and items to help you along your way. On top of that, you'll find different relics throughout the dungeons that can power up your character. These might be items that can help prevent you from falling into holes. They might be relics that enhance your attacks, and much, much more. You'll face off against challenging bosses as well, but if you happen to die, you'll actually retain a percentage of the gold that you earn throughout your run that you can then bring back to the hub area, which you can use to permanently upgrade your character's abilities, buy enhancements for your characters, craft new items, and much more. This game has a fun, quirky story and is an addicting roguelike dungeon crawler that I definitely recommend picking up. The next game on today's list is Tales of Iron. And so Tales of Iron is a 2D action RPG, and you'll play as Reggie, who's the heir of the Rat Kingdom, and you'll need to go on a quest to restore your land and to save it from the evil Frog Clan and their evil leader. And so the game itself is sort of like a Souls-like 2D action RPG, and you'll have various items and weapons you'll be able to equip to your character that will alter your stats and abilities, as well as your playstyle. The game features crafting elements to unlock new weapons and items. It features cooking, which you can use to boost your character's stats as well. And throughout the game, you can even find different side characters that can help you along your way. The game does have very challenging Souls-like combat, so you'll need to effectively learn the enemy patterns, attack with precise timing, and parry your enemy's attacks as well. There's a lot of different side quests to further expand the game beyond its main storyline, but if you're looking for another challenging action RPG with several Souls-like elements and a cool art style, I definitely recommend picking this one up as well. The next game on today's list is Legrand Legacy. And so this game is really a throwback to classic PS2 and PS1 era RPGs. And you'll play as Finn, who's a young slave, and discovers that he has unique special powers. And you'll go on a quest teaming up with others as you try and restore peace to the land. And so the game features turn-based combat, but it also has some fast-paced action elements as well. And so the combat features timed attacks, and so if you hit the right button at the right time, it will enhance damage from your attacks, and this is definitely a lot of fun. The combat also features multiple different rows, so you'll need to strategically place your characters in your team to protect your weaker characters and utilize your character's special abilities. There's several different elemental advantages that your weapons and attacks will have as well as different weapon advantages and disadvantages, so you'll need to pay attention to that throughout combat to exploit enemy weaknesses if you hope to survive. The game also has a very flexible level up system, which really allows you to spend skill points in different traits for each character, really allowing you to customize characters to fit your playstyle. There's a lengthy main story, but also a lot of different side quests to explore as well. And so if you're looking for a classic-inspired, turn-based RPG, I definitely recommend it. The next game on today's list is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And so this game is a spiritual successor to the Castlevania series, and you'll play as Miriam, a shardbinder, who goes on a journey to stop her friend, another fellow shardbinder, that has gone rogue and is threatening to destroy the world. And so this game is definitely action platforming at its best, and is really similar and reminiscent of the classic Castlevania series, and really mirrors some of the best in the series like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And so in this game, you'll be able to kill enemies and gain their shards, which unlock new abilities for your character. And so some of these are attack-based abilities, and others will grant your character special abilities to reach new areas. So these could be things like a double jump, pushing heavy objects, and much more. And so there's a huge world to explore, and you'll need to defeat challenging enemies and collect these different shards throughout the world to explore all its hidden secrets. There's also an extensive collection of weapons and armor that you can find. You have the ability to craft different items, and villagers from town can also give you different side quests to unlock hidden items and much more. The game has challenging, fun bosses, a really cool anime-like art style, and there's even a classic mode, which is really reminiscent of 2D classic action platformers in the Castlevania series. If you enjoy action platformers and Metroidvania games, this one's definitely a must-buy if you haven't played it yet. Alright, the final game on today's list is Vigil, the Longest Night. And so in this game, you'll play as Layla as she tries to save her home from an ancient evil destroying the land. And this game features a unique art style and challenging combat, and is a really fun and addicting Metroidvania. And this game as well also has a similar feel to Castlevania games, as there's tons of different secrets and hidden paths that you can find throughout the game. You can help villagers solving different side quests, and there's even multiple weapon types that you can switch between on the fly, which really alter your character's playstyle. On top of that, there's a ton of different unique equipment, and as an added bonus, this alters how your character looks as you equip different items. On top of that, you can forge weapons, making them stronger and upgrading them. And there's a really an extensive skill tree with various trees that you can power up and unlock abilities, mastering different weapons, and powering up your character throughout the game. How you level up your character can be completely different every time you play through the game, and it can be really flexible to fit your playstyle. It does have some heavy RPG elements beyond the action-based combat. It has challenging Souls-like bosses as well, but at the same time, it's not as punishing as a Dark Souls game, but you'll really need to learn their patterns if you hope to survive. And if you're looking for another fun RPG Metroidvania game, I definitely recommend it. But again, that wraps up our list of 10 more great deals in this latest Nintendo Switch eShop sale. Let us know in the comments below if you've played any of these games yet, if you're going to pick any of these up. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you like videos like this on video games, board games, and everything nerdy, check out one of our other videos here. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out, and to make sure you don't miss out on any future sale videos to take advantage of these great deals. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.